Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. My name is Callie, and this is another weekend of Clarinets, Cats, and Coffee. In today's video, I am going to compare 5 ligatures under $50. These 5 ligatures are pretty common. I think a lot of people have them, and if you're looking to upgrade or change or try something new, maybe this video will help you out. Before I do a blind test for you guys to compare, I'm going to talk about 8 things that I find really helpful when comparing equipment, especially ligatures. The number one most important thing to me is tone, quality of sound. So my priorities may be different than yours. I prefer a round tone. I like projection. I like clarity. And I like focus in my sound. So that's what I'm going for when I try equipment out. The second big thing, evenness of sound. So this also plays into tone. Evenness meaning the same quality of sound from low to high. No notes stick out, no notes are muted. Ligature has a slightly lower impact on evenness of sound. The clarinet itself really has a bigger impact on that. The way the ligature resonates and the way the ligature allows the reed to resonate can impact evenness of tone just a little bit. The next big thing for me is projection, and this actually changes based on what kind of ensemble I'm in and what kind of space I'm playing in. So most of the time my default is to play with a big projected sound. I want to fill large orchestral halls with my sound, and I want to be able to compete with brass players if I'm playing a Mahler symphony. However, if I'm playing in a smaller ensemble, maybe a woodwind quintet, I typically don't want to play with as big of a sound or as projected of a sound, so I may change little parts of my equipment to help me achieve the sound that I'm looking for, and ligature can actually have an impact on that. Most of the time, leather ligatures or cloth ligatures are going to give you less projection and a more pleasant sound close up, whereas metal ligatures are going to allow you to project more and have a bigger sound, fill a hall more, but they may not sound as pretty close up around you. The next thing that I listen for is a nice spectrum of overtones and color in my sound. So metal ligatures in general will have more of the higher overtones. Leather ligatures will mute the higher overtones more and bring out some more of the low overtones. So you just got to try things out to see what you prefer, but I typically use metal ligatures because I like to have more of the high overtones in my sound. The fifth big thing is ease of response. So that means when you blow into your instrument, how quickly does your equipment respond to your air? I want to have equipment that responds immediately when I want it to. I don't want to have to work extra hard just to get a sound to be reduced from my instrument. So I think ligature can impact that, the ease of response. And various ligatures, various designs will impact how that feels and how that sounds. So you just have to try things out to figure out what gives you the response that you're looking for. The sixth big thing is articulation response. So this goes into ease of response. However, when we're articulating really quick passages, we don't want to have to work extra hard to get notes to come out. So that's why articulation response has its own category here. Very important for me. The next one is ease of use. I am not a huge fan of using equipment that requires me to take extra time to apply it, put it together, especially when I'm switching quickly from B flat to A clarinet. Sometimes the ligature can get out of place, and I want to be able to quickly put everything back and tighten to be ready to go and play without any additional time being taken. So I want my equipment to be very easy to use. And finally, durability. So as a professional player, my priorities with durability have to do with the quality of the metal and the quality of the screw. I really hate using nice fancy ligatures that last only 2 months because the screw strips because they used a soft cheap metal on the screw. However, if I'm recommending ligatures for a beginner, I'm going to prioritize durability from the standpoint of, you know, a 9-year-old may drop their ligature, they may sit on it, step on it, squish it in their case, whatever. So I'm going to probably recommend something made out of leather that's not going to break easily. So those are the 8 things that I look for whenever I am trying equipment, especially ligatures. Now I'm going to go ahead and play all 5 of these ligatures for you. I'm going to have them up here on the screen so you can kind of maybe try to guess which ligature is which. Now, I'm going to warn you, they're probably going to sound pretty similar to you here, right? Because I'm playing this here in a space, it's being recorded on my Zoom recorder, you're listening there on your device. And I also have a very strong concept of how I like to sound, so I'm going to adjust to whatever equipment that I'm playing on to try to sound as similar as I want to whatever I have in mind. But I am going to talk about all of these ligatures after I play them, because I think one of the most important things that we can take away from testing out ligatures is how it feels as a player to play on all of these. And how it feels is going to impact your ability to play expressively and musically. It's going to impact how loud you play, how soft you play. It's going to impact how you use your air, how you articulate, all of these things you're going to hear, and you're going to adjust to those things. So when I share my thoughts afterwards, it's just that, my thoughts. It's very subjective. So at the end of the day, you're going to have to try things out to see what you like best. I'm going to take you through which ligature is which and my thoughts on each. First ligature was the Ravner Versa. Now, I only played it with the flaps going over the plate, and I had the giant plate here in the middle. And I have it this way because I prefer the response, the sound, the evenness of tone, all of those fun things. and I don't really want to compare every single aspect of this ligature, okay? So I've decided this is how I like it, and this is how I'm going to play it for you guys. I find that it has a lot more color in the sound while still maintaining that depth and richness. The thing that lacks, in my opinion, for this one is the ease of response. It's not quite how I would expect it to be, and I have to work a little bit too hard to get this to sound the way I want to, but overall, still a great ligature. Second ligature was the stock ligature. This one came with my Yamaha. Honestly, the sound wasn't too bad, but it lacked some of the lower overtones from my perception, and it was also really hard to play soft. I felt like my sound was a little bit more pinched, but overall not too bad if this is all you have. Third ligature was the basic Rovner. This is one of my favorite ligatures for beginner players. It is so durable. In my opinion, the benefit stops there. I'm not a fan of this one, mainly because projection is so difficult. Once a player starts to use enough air, these ligatures can become problematic. It's really common for water to get stuck behind the reed and actually go down between the reed and the mouthpiece on the table of the mouthpiece, which is really frustrating, and that has a huge impact on the response of the reed. So I usually don't recommend these ligatures once somebody starts playing with really good air support and when they're trying to play with a bigger sound, because I don't think it cuts it. Fourth ligature was the Bonade inverted ligature. This is one of the most revolutionary ligatures, I think, designed in clarinet history. It has these two vertical plates that sit right on top of the reed, so it follows the grain of the reed. So in theory, it resonates and allows the reed to resonate in a way that is more natural with the cane of the reed. I find these to be one of the best value ligatures on the market. And the reason for that is the quality of sound, projection, ease of playing, and articulation can't be beat. Really, overall, an excellent ligature, and many players, many really high-level players prefer this over all of the really expensive fancy ones in the world too. So, goes to show, you don't have to spend a lot to get a great sounding ligature. Fifth ligature was BG Super Revelation. Now this was my favorite ligature for quite a long time. I loved the quality of sound, the articulation. It had just the right amount of resistance that I don't often get with leather ligatures, but it still has the brilliance of a metal ligature. So I find this to be a really good combination of both sound worlds. And it is still one of my favorite ligatures in certain settings. And overall, really great ligature for right around $50. What are your thoughts about some of these ligatures? Do you have other ligatures out there that are under $50 that you think are worth mentioning here in the comments below? If so, please share. Now, if you guys enjoy learning from me, be sure to check out ways you can support my channel through Patreon or channel memberships. I have some exciting things coming up in this fall, including online course and a new community feature, so be sure to check that out. Sign up for my email list. I'll keep everyone updated through my projects. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have anything you want to add in the comments, if you were surprised by the results, let me know. And if you have a ligature out there that's under $50 that is worth mentioning, please tell the community here. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, a good week next week, and as always, happy practicing.